Hello, students. This is part 3 of An Angel in Disguise. Students, in our previous video, we studied that when everybody left the place after the burial, Mr. Thompson seemed to be worried about the little girl. He asked the blacksmith's wife, who suggested him to take her to the poor house. Joe stood there for some time, very confused because he was not ready to leave the poor little girl alone, because according to him it's a cruel thing to leave her there. So he went into the hovel again and saw Maggie had raised her into an upright position with much painful effort and was sitting on her bed. Her eyes were on the door out of which all had departed. A vague terror had covered her pale face. It roused a feeling of sympathy in Mr. Thompson, and when she cried not to leave her alone, Mr. Thompson felt guilty of leaving the child as she was. So he decided to take her with him to his house. Students, let's continue from here. Now, Joe Thompson's wife, who happened to be childless, means Mrs. Jones, wife of Joe Thompson, was childless and not a woman of saintly temper. Saintly temper means not a woman of a pleasant kind of temperament. That means that she is very harsh, rude, sharp at her words, not much given to self-denial for others' good. Means self-denial means not ready for the self-sacrifice, that she would not sacrifice herself for others. And Joe had well-grounded doubts touching the manner of greeting she would receive on his arrival. Well-grounded doubts means very well familiar with the nature of Mrs. Thompson. Joe was very well known and he had the confirmed doubts in his mind that seeing Joe Thompson carrying Maggie to his house, he would receive what greeting or what type of greeting he would receive on his arrival. Mrs. Thompson saw him approaching from the window and with ruffling feathers means anger, met him a few paces from the door. Paces means distance. As he opened the garden gate and came in, so what happened that Mrs. Thompson was a childless lady. She had no feelings. She was ill-tempered and it had become her usual nature. She had lost the purpose of living. So when she saw Mr. Thompson carrying a piece of burden in his arms from the window, she sharply questioned him about the child. You can see here, Mrs. Thompson saw him approaching from the window and with ruffling feathers met him a few paces from the door as he opened the garden gate. He bore a precious burden. Students, please underline precious burden. It is an oxymoron here. Burden as if something which we don't like, as if it's a burden for us. So for the first time, students, Arthur said Maggie is a precious burden. Now how Maggie proved to be a precious burden, that we will know at the ending of the story. So let's continue, students. As his arms held the sick child to his breast, a sphere of tenderness went out from her and penetrated his feelings. Now underline a sphere of tenderness. Here extreme sense of paternal love. When Mr. Thompson was carrying the little child in his arms, he felt an extreme sense of fatherly love, because when he was carrying her, the feelings penetrated means got into her heart, as if a bond had already corded itself around them both. Them means Mr. Joe Thompson and Maggie. Corded means strengthened. So when he was carrying the precious burden, so from this line we can understand that Joe Thompson and Maggie were sharing a deep or a strong bond of father and daughter love relationship. They were sharing a lovely relationship of daughter and father. What have you there? Sharply questioned Mrs. Thompson. Joe felt that child start and shrink against him. Start and shrink means was surprised and shocked. Means the sharp tone of Mrs. Thompson scared little Maggie. And so what he did not reply anything but carried Maggie to the small chamber on the first floor and laid her on a bed. Then stepping back, he shut the door and stood face to face with his vinegar tempered wife in the passageway outside. Underline vinegar tempered. Vinegar, it's little sour or bitter taste. So the bitter or unpleasant tempered wife in the long passage. You haven't brought home that sick brat. Anger and astonishment were in the tones of Mrs. Joe Thompson. Her face was in a flame. Was in a flame means looks very red. Was badly behaved means full of anger. Mrs. Thompson was full of anger. So Mrs. Thompson was full of anger and astonishment when she saw Maggie in her husband's arms. But Mr. Thompson noticed this and said, what he said, I think women's hearts are sometimes very hard. Usually he got out of her sight in such situations because he was well familiar with the nature of his wife. So in this paragraph, students, that I think women's hearts are sometimes very hard, said Joe. Usually Joe Thompson got out of his wife's way or kept rigidly silent and non-combative when she fired up on any subject. So this is the description of the relationship that Thompsons share with each other. So Joe Thompson is saying that from these lines we can understand that usually Joe Thompson got out of her sight in such situations or kept silent to avoid further arguments, but this time he faced an entirely different person and encountered means an unexpected or casual meeting countenance. A firmly set countenance means expression, and a resolute pair of eyes. Resolute means determined. So what reply Mrs. Thompson gave? Women's hearts are not half so hard as men's. So why she said this? When Mr. Thompson pointed that women's hearts are sometimes very hard, to this she replied that women's hearts are not half so hard as men's. Joe Thompson, by a quick intuition that his resolute bearing had impressed his wife, and he answered quickly and with real indignation. Indignation means anger. You can see here. So when they were making an argument, usually Mr. Thompson always used to remain silent, but this time he started with well determined eyes. He started arguing for the little child, and he came to know that he had been successful in touching the strings of his wife's heart. So he kept on saying his words. Be that as it may, every woman at that funeral turned her eyes steadily from the sick child's face, and when the cart went off with her dead mother, hurried away and left her alone in that old hut, with the sun not an hour in the sky. With the sun not an hour in the sky means that within an hour before the sunset, means it's the time when it is going to get dark. So Joe Thompson was very sharply or very in a determined tone, he was also comparing or informing Mrs. Thompson that not to behave as the woman did in at the funeral of her dead mother, who quickly left the hovel, leaving the poor child alone, who never turned to see the child, the little child, the bedridden child, and left them in the hut when it was the time to get dark. Where were John and Kate? Asked Mrs. Thompson. Farmer Jones tossed John into his wagon. Tossed means put, and drove off. Katy went home with Mrs. Ellis, but nobody wanted the poor sick one. Send her to the poor house was the cry. Means was the major voice, the chief voice, the chief cry was to send the poor child Maggie to the poor house. So Mrs. Thompson knew very well that Maggie had one brother and a sister too, and she was keen to know that where they would have been when Maggie was brought there, and why didn't she was sent along with them. She wanted her to go to the poor house. Why didn't you let her go then? Why did you bring her for here? She can't walk to the poor house, said Joe. Then Joe answered firmly that this child is unable to walk to the poor house. Somebody's arms must carry her, and mine are strong enough for that task. So now Joe Thompson was making Mrs. Thompson aware of the fact that the child is unable to move even a single step without anybody's help. She is unable to walk. She is unable to raise herself without the support of someone. And he firmly said that his arms are strong enough to carry this poor little child. So students, I hope up to this paragraph, put a tick here, enough for that task, and we shall continue the story in our next video.